This week in Jamaica Now, government bows to public pressure. It's withdrawing a resolution to hide cabinet documents for 70 years. But why was this proposed in the first place?
I think that is very wrong, very bad.
That just makes no sense.
Jamaicans weigh in. Attorneys say audio recordings tampered in Vybz Kartel juror trial. What does this mean? Convicted baby snatcher sentenced to 3 years and 4 months in prison. Dr Dayton Campbell dumped from opposition's shadow cabinet, and other Bunting supporters too. And Omar McLeod crashes out of hurdles final at the World Championships. I'm Damian Mitchell, and this is Jamaica Now. It's the question government representatives have been struggling to answer. Why did the government want to increase from 20 to 70 years the period for which cabinet documents may be banned from public access? The government made the proposal in an order signed by Prime Minister Andrew Holness, which was tabled in the House of Representatives on Tuesday. Amid intense public outrage, Jamaica's Foreign Affairs Minister Kamina Johnson-Smith on Thursday said the proposal would be withdrawn. But why was it made in the first place? Johnson-Smith said it arose from a request under the Access to Information Act for cabinet minutes from 1975 to 1976. That would include the period of the 1976 state of public emergency in Jamaica. Parliamentary Secretary in the Office of the Prime Minister, Robert Nesta Morgan, has further explained that the ATI application included a request for personal information for persons dead or alive. However, their explanations have not pacified civil society groups. And the government says with the decision to withdraw the resolution, it will reconsider the Access to Information application. Anti-corruption campaigners say the government had failed to use the provisions of the existing ATI Act to redact sensitive information or simply deny the request on the grounds set out under law. Meanwhile, former president of the Press Association of Jamaica, Dion Jackson Miller, says Jamaicans should not relax because the government has announced that it will withdraw the cabinet secrecy resolution. She said the very attempt was a backward step in efforts at better governance and greater transparency and accountability. She also said it is clear from the government statement that it has not backed down on its position, as the matter will be sent to a joint select committee of Parliament. And on the streets of St. Andrew, there was more flack for the government.
As humanity, we should know everything, especially the truth. You understand? Or we feel like the truth may hurt, but normally, if it is something going to hurt us, you need to let us know and don't hide certain things from us.
I don't think that it's necessary. If you have nothing to hide, why 70 years? The US has 5 to 6 years, the UK has 15 years. What makes us so different that we have to hide our documents for 70 years? I don't believe it is just, I don't believe it is fair. I think the government is here to serve, and it should be able to be held accountable for whatever action that takes place within cabinet. So we should be able to see the documents.
An expert witness has testified that 2 audio recordings of conversations between female foreman in the 2014 Vybz Kartel murder trial and Livingston Kane, the accused rogue juror, were tampered with. Kane is facing 5 counts of attempting to pervert the course of justice and 1 count of conspiring to pervert the course of justice. The recordings were taken from a BlackBerry mobile phone believed to have been used to record the conversations. An information technology professional with more than 20 years' experience told the corporate area court that he found clear evidence of splicing in the audio files. He also said the stop time for the recording was too clean, suggesting that the audio had been edited. The juror is alleged to have offered bribes to his peers to set free Kartel and his co-accused. The woman who pleaded guilty to stealing day-old baby Sabron from the Victoria Jubilee Hospital in Kingston has been sentenced to 3 years and 4 months in prison at hard labor. 28-year-old Peter Gay French was sentenced in Kingston's Home Circuit Court on Thursday. Suzette White, Sabron's mother, had reported that her child was abducted while she went to use the bathroom around 4:30 on the morning of January 9 this year at the corporate area maternity hospital. French was later arrested when she tried to register the infant at the Registrar General's Department in St. Catherine. The baby was returned to his parents after a DNA test confirmed his identity. Meanwhile, the businessman captured on video pointing his licensed firearm at motorists during the 2017 Carnival celebrations has been freed of criminal charges. Zachary Reed, a restaurant manager, was arrested and charged with illegal possession of a firearm and assault at common law following the April 2017 incident along West Kings House Road in St. Andrew. However, prosecutors on Thursday offered no evidence against Reed. According to law enforcement sources, prosecutors were facing an uphill task as no civilian witness had come forward to complain about being assaulted during the incident. Doctors Dayton Campbell and Angela Brown-Burke have been axed from the Opposition Council of Spokespersons. The two were part of the leadership campaign team of defeated presidential candidate Peter Bunting in the September 7 race against incumbent Dr. Peter Phillips. Campbell was the opposition spokesperson on health and Brown-Burke the shadow minister for local government. Noel Ascott, the spokesperson on community development and social transformation, and Ronald Thwaites, the shadow minister on education, as well as water spokesman Ian Hales, are also out. The new shadow cabinet features Dr. Maurice Guy as the new leader of government business in the House and Westmoreland Central MP Dwayne Vaz as his deputy. Guy replaces Philip Paulwell, who will be campaign director for the People's National Party, to prepare comrades for the next general election. Hopes crashed and hearts wilted on Wednesday as Jamaica's Omar McLeod was disqualified in the men's 110-meter hurdles final at the IAAF World Championships in Doha, Qatar. McLeod, the 2017 world champion, after clipping a few hurdles, was closing down on leader Grant Holloway of the United States before he hit the 8th hurdle. He told Television Jamaica that his hamstring had started to affect him from the warm-up stage, and so he was not able to focus technically during the race.
I was more concerned about the hamstring than technique or anything. I was just like, try your very best to just get through it. That didn't happen. I gave it my all, man. I showed up here ready. I showed up and had in the back of my mind that I was going to be prepared. I didn't want to come here half-assed. You know what I mean? I came and I showed up, and it was just God's will.
A day later, however, Danielle Thomas Dodd restored Jamaica's celebration as she copped silver in the women's shot put. Then Sharika Jackson struck bronze in the 400 meters in a personal best 49.47. And that's it for this edition of Jamaica Now, your weekly review of the big news stories. Send us your comments at onlinefeedback@gleanerjm.com. You may tune in to Power 106 FM for regular updates. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Jamaica Gleaner and on Facebook at Gleaner Jamaica. I'm Damian Mitchell, and before we go, more sights, sounds, and scenes from Jamaicans at the World Championships in Doha, Qatar.